We are going to be looking at some creepy videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. This video is crazy, and what's even crazier is that there's very limited information about this speech on the internet. The man that's speaking in the video is Michel Temer, the former president of Brazil. Now, you may think this is AI or they changed his voice to sound like this, but watch the reactions of those around him. I'm going to go ahead and play the video now, then give my take at the end.
E ao mesmo tempo nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados. Deixa eu pedir uma pastilha. Já estão encomendados estudos para eliminar. Chega, é muito. Já estão.
Now, there are a few things creepy about this, and like I said, if it wasn't for the fact of a few things that I had noticed about this clip, I would not even talk about it. I would say, okay, somebody may have altered his voice to make it sound like this, but the very first thing I noticed when his voice changed, watch his smirk, watch.
E ao mesmo tempo nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão.
He is smirking because he knew he was caught, and that's usually something you will see in somebody when they're hiding something or they're lying about something, and you catch them and you see them smirk. He doesn't even try to blame the microphone or fix the microphone in any way. He just continues on, and you can see the guy behind him lean in as if he's saying, "What was that?" And you hear people talking among themselves. But this woman's reaction, the blonde woman, really sold it for me. She instantly jumps up out of her seat, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her one bit. She looked like she was about to leave. Between the crowd talking among themselves when his voice changed and his smirk, and her jumping out of her seat the way she did, there's no way his voice was altered. I believe this is the real deal. Something was either coming out of him or he was starting to change. I don't know what that was. Some people may say there may have been a technical issue with the microphone, but prior to his voice changing, you can hear him clearing his throat as if something was going on with him.
E ao mesmo tempo nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
There's also a woman at the end that gives him something and he eats it. I don't know if it's a pill or what, but again, this whole video is absolutely crazy, and apparently this was his speech back in 2020. This person here said that guy is actually Brazilian. He was the vice president that took office after the actual president was impeached. His name is Michel Temer, and that video is legit. I remember people in Brazil saying he was possessed. So apparently people in Brazil were also talking about this at the time. I mean, it's something interesting to see on camera, but it does not surprise me one bit. Should not surprise you one bit either that there's something off or something very wrong about those that are in charge, those who are in power, the so-called elite. I mean, I did a video a few months ago about how the royals, they sent out that letter, how people may have seen the queen in her true form. I did a pretty lengthy video how that article came directly from the royal website and it was taken right down. And then if you take a look at the guy that currently runs the World Economic Forum, there's definitely something not right there either. In this next creepy video, and I was actually tagged in this video, this woman, her mother received a very eerie message on her phone at 1:30 in the morning.
Corruption by surveillance, by a system that feeds on fear and division. You are told to hate your neighbor. You are told to trust the lies. You are told your voice is small. They have sold you the illusion of choice, while tightening the chains around your mind, your wallet, your future. But the time for silence is over. The world is cracking. The cracks are not breaking us. They are letting the light in. Wear the mask and look around where everyone is same. Wars waged in boardrooms. Justice bought and sold like stock. Nature bleeding under the weight of greed. Cities drowning. Forests burning. Children starving. All while billionaires buy their way to Mars. You are not powerless. You were born with a voice. Now is the time to use it. You were born with eyes. Now is the time to open them. We must unite, not just as citizens of nations, but as a species. There is no salvation coming from the top. Real change will not come from presidents or prime ministers. It will come from people like you, choosing to wake up, speak up, stand up. The systems are rotting. The world is wired, watched, and weaponized. But the power of the many has always outmatched the greed of the few. So here is your first step. Get a mask. Not to hide who you are, but to become who you must be and be proud to be everyone. This is not a moment. It is a movement. We are not here to ask. We are here to demand. A better world is not only possible, it is necessary. When everyone has a mask, they are compelled to not know who you are and cannot act against you and prompt
What the fuck? Dude.
So yeah, this message just started to randomly play on this woman's phone. And people are saying that this message came from the group known as Anonymous. I mean, if you listen to the words, it's not a bad message, but I can definitely see how some older people may get creeped out by this just randomly coming out of nowhere. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I would too if this woke me up out of my sleep in the middle of the night. But going back to very unusual people like the individual in the first clip, this video comes from the paranormal chick on TikTok.
Y'all, this is a creepy video coming out of New Orleans, Louisiana. This was captured by a woman and her girlfriends. They were just out enjoying the night, dancing, when a random man comes up to her and starts basically freaking on her. Didn't think anything of it until they saw his facial expressions, and it completely weirded them out. Tons of people are chiming in saying, you've met a New Orleans vampire or it's a demon. And honestly, looking at his facial expressions, truly terrifying. Take a look at this. Comment below and tell me what you think.
There are some people saying that he may have been wearing reflective contacts or mirrored contacts. There are even some people suggesting that he may be a demon or a spirit or somebody who is possessed. But his blank expression, the way he wasn't blinking, and the way he was trying to have control over her, something about this just felt really off. Now, about a year ago, I did go to New Orleans with a group of people and I had an amazing time, but there's still something about the area that really gives off an eerie vibe.
Anyone know who this lady is, or who Promega is, the company? Because have a listen to this.
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight, the babies we eat. We are the first species.
Okay, she says species, but what species is she? I mean, is she talking about humans, or I mean, is this a vampire that we're looking at, or is this a lizard person? I don't know. Who's Promega? Help me out, people. Let me know in the comment section.
That video was by the Red or Blue Pills on TikTok, and the woman speaking is Barbara Marks Hubbard. She is, or she was, a futurist because she passed away in 2019. And no way was that just a slip of the tongue. That kind of sounds like a Freudian slip. Now look, I don't know if reptilians exist. I don't know if shapeshifters exist. I do believe, and this is my own personal belief, that demons do exist. But when it comes to the topic of reptilians, there was this odd time in 2024 where it seemed like news and media, and we do know who news and media are owned and operated by, wanted us to get comfortable with the idea of other entities that exist. For example, when all these articles kept popping up randomly out of the blue about demon face syndrome, we were presented a photo of what demon face syndrome looks like. And what we were presented with looks nothing like demon face syndrome. The person with this syndrome sees eyes on the forehead or the nose on the mouth. It's basically supposed to look like a Picasso painting, and it's believed that Picasso also suffered with demon face syndrome. But what we were presented with were faces that look more like amphibious humanoids or more reptile in nature, and you have to ask yourself why. There were also all these articles coming out around the same time we were learning about demon face syndrome, how Harvard scientists were saying how there were humanoid intelligent alien dinosaurs that could be hiding underground. And when I think of humanoid dinosaurs, I think of reptilians. So again, do they exist? I don't know, but for whatever reason, they were trying to get us comfortable with that idea. But I did go ahead and research this Promega company a little bit further, and come to find out they are a biotech company. Pretty interesting. And the description goes on to say Promega Corporation is a Madison, Wisconsin-based manufacturer of enzymes and other products for biotechnology and molecular biology, with a portfolio covering the fields of genomics, protein analysis and expression, cellular analysis, drug discovery, and genetic identity. When I hear this woman say this and I look up all these biotech companies, it kind of reminds me of Hollywood and all these celebrities reverse aging, kind of like Martha Stewart. Now you might think it's due to them having all this money and them having these surgeries, but as you're going to see as this video plays out, there might be a little bit more to this than meets the eye.
I don't even know who that is. That's crazy. That's Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart is 83 years old. Do you think the substance was a documentary? Look at how not just beautiful she is, she's hot. Here's a clip of me and Martha on her show. This was 18 years ago.
Please welcome Jamie Kennedy.
That's not the same woman. I mean, she looks amazing, but there's something going on in the town, and people are getting younger and younger. Something's going on.
Explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes. The
What are
serum.
you pushing into the skin, Sarah?
Serum.
Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. That's what it is.
Okay.
Who comes up with this?
I don't think, and it's not like I'm lying there with little pieces all over my face. It's like,
Who thinks of collecting it and having it for, we'll do something with this
and
someday.
why didn't we come up with that?
Right.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend have been in a good relationship for quite a moment now.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. For 7 years.
Now he's an early 30 and you're a late 50.
Yeah.
But somehow you both look the same age there.
Mm.
I mean, there's something to be said for being with a younger man.
I suck baby's blood and put it on my face.
If I were to upload every video clip of a celebrity either quote unquote joking about this as a way to get youth or saying that they are putting this stuff all over their face, this video would pretty much be for hours. This is just truth in plain sight for a certain Chrome.
Before weirdest thing you would eat, before you say that, we've got a little clip here.
Uh-oh. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
When you can get David Chang to be speechless, I mean, when you can make him speechless. No, it's like, as soon as I said that too, I was like, this isn't going to go over well.
Would you really eat human?
I mean,
what body part would you eat?
Haven't you been to that bodies exhibit down on right? Have you been there?
I've been there.
I feel like we've eaten everything. Like everything has been eaten in fine dining. What's the one thing that hasn't been served?
But what body
human.
part would you eat? Like, I feel like I'd eat some, like
I would give you,
probably
if
the
I
belly.
were to pass away naturally, I would give you a piece of my arm.
It doesn't look meaty enough. Yeah, no.
Chicken thigh? A thigh?
Hey, you know what they say? Tastes just like chicken.
This is just so sick and disturbing, and how the audience will just sit there and laugh about it, or those watching this on TV will laugh along, and they don't realize these people are not joking. If you want to call them people at the end of the day, and I have to say, for YouTube purposes only, this video is only for entertainment. And at the end of the day, who really knows what we're eating as well?
These new steak nuggets from Arby's are causing a little stir here online. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to start with my opinion about these, but we have been waiting for something like this. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the road and I just want meat, okay? I don't want bread. I don't want fries, nothing. I just want meat. So when Arby's came out with this, I was pretty excited, but then I started reading the comments about it. And I might have second guesses. So just like everything else on the internet, things immediately start getting roasted, and this is not exempt of it. So people started calling this like koala knuckles, raccoon meat, and even cartel member meat. And that's mainly because Arby's has chosen not to disclose the ingredients list for this, which I don't know why they wouldn't. So apparently this is supposed to be brisket. It's supposed to be a protein option, and it's about $6 for this right here. I think we're just a little traumatized overall by meat prices. $5 to $6 for this much meat. A little skeptical, but I will say, out of all the fast food restaurants, they're the only ones that say we have the meat. So I guess we should trust them. I mean, come on, guys. We trust Taco Bell with their steak and their chicken nuggets. I think we could trust Arby's. So I will probably be trying these at some point. So I'd like to hear in the comments below what you guys think.
Yeah, they definitely look like Texas smoked squirrel anuses. I am definitely not getting smoked brisket at a fast food joint, especially one that refuses to release the ingredients list. More than likely what we're looking at here is either 3D printed meat or lab grown meat, but again, I have done plenty of videos on this subject, and I mean, it might even be Soylent Green is people, you never know. I mean, yeah, their slogan is we got the meats, but what meats?
Denver Airport is at it again. I'm going to explain all this symbolism and you tell me what you think that they are trying to say. But really quick, if you didn't know, they had been remodeling lately, posting all these different, very curious signs. I wonder why they would choose the figures that they chose. You know, to push this airport that had this crazy underground space. So they remodeled it, and now we have this new place in there, and it's kind of like truth in plain sight. You see the North Pole right here? There's this crazy pole going up from the north. I wonder what that means. Like how all compasses pull to the north, like there's something north that's magnetic being symbolized as a pole, you know, some way to transfer energy. But look at this arrow right here. What's it pointing at? It's literally pointing at this arch, this giant arch fan, which maybe, you know, keeps things turning up, you know, above our head. But not just that. Look at the other arch. This crazy arch that's over. And on the north part, they literally put sand around it. But the craziest part is the other side. To get to the South or Antarctica, there is a huge gate that you have to go through. Why would there be, what does the gate symbolize in the first place? Let me ask you that. And they put the gate above where the gating section is to get into Antarctica. And then, of course, in the north, sand all in front of the north. Maybe they're pointing out why this would not work with our current understanding. Anyways, what are they trying to show? Let me know below.
That video comes from Moon Henry on TikTok, and they keep expanding the symbolism in the Denver airport. And yes, there are massive buildings that lurk beneath. They said they destroyed these buildings with dynamite and so forth, but who really knows? And who really knows what truly lurks beneath, or what really lurks beneath the Denver airport? This next video comes from the Bigfoot Society on TikTok. And what exactly is the Temple of Anubis Oculus in Oregon?
Guys, we got to talk about this. What in the wide world of pizza is going on in Damascus, Oregon, just outside of Portland? The Temple of Oculus Anubis? I'm speechless. I can't find much about this, but I was randomly searching for statues in Oregon, and this thing came up, and it's massive, and it's just out there in the woods. There's got to be someone with some story about what this is. I found it some sort of weird gate too. Check this out, guys. That is some Lord of the Rings crazy Narnia stuff. I mean, look at that. You've got two lions on either side, a gate you got to go through, I heard this is private property, so don't even think about going in yourself. But someone's got to have info. And what is that? Some sort of winged creature at the top of the arch? Is that like a griffin? I don't know. Check out this again. Anyways, guys, the Temple of Oculus Anubis, some wild stuff going on. I mean, allegedly. I don't know. I still don't know the story. I can't find it. You guys from Oregon, help me out. This is your time to shine. Put it in the comments. And if you had got a big story about this, send me a DM, multiple paragraphs, and I'll share it with everyone else.
Anything I can find on it suggests that this could be a cult with possibly underground tunnels.
Again, it's the Oculus and EVS Rebirth. They used to have gargoyles right there.
But outside of the very odd and mysterious Denver airport, the Trumpet Ezekiel on TikTok does another great breakdown about the mysterious Astana, Kazakhstan, and the United States spent what?
Did we really pay $50 billion for a pyramid on the other side of the world? We sure did. But we also bought this big replica of the sun and like the Tower of Babel. That was that building right up there. And that big building of the sun, that's right there. We can go right inside of it. It looks like there's a steering wheel in it and all. You touch that little button right there. And I'll show you where you can drive it like with one hand. It's zoom over. Get to that steering wheel. Where are you taking this thing? I don't know. We got to look at the map. Roll over there. There's a map of the world. That's like a seal in clay. That's just like the book of Job right there. And we'll zoom out. You can look at it. It looks just like a clay seal. And it's like half flat, half round. That's next on the trumpet. We paid $50 billion for the city of Satan. I took you inside that pyramid just the other day. There's the sun that I just took you inside of. And those are the two pillars of Freemasonry right there. If you twist those letters around, that place is real. No, really, if you back out of the sun and you go right down to the little place where I guess you could drive it to, you can go down to this big thing right here. It's like a museum or something. What does it say? Back out of that. It's like the biggest of Earth, and then this thing going around it. We're just going to boop, bow, go right inside this thing. It's like some kind of crazy light show. $50 billion? Yes, it has the Tower of Babel. Oh, fly this thing around. It is turned as clay to the seal, and it stands as a garment. Job chapter 38:14. I think that's Florida. There's that verse in the book of Job right there. It is turned as clay to the seal, and they stand as a garment. Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof? And a man would answer that question by pointing at those things right there, when we don't even know how to build a blade of grass or what that stuff is in the middle of an acorn. but there are 3 crosses right there in the background. They really did spend $50 billion there.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.